Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to week 22 of the DC Sports Digest. Make sure to like and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into a week of a lot of trades and signings and many other things like that. Alright, so on to the Nationals. I think we went 2-3 this week for spring training, so we are 6-6 overall. The only other small things for them is their spring breakout team was announced. So basically, if you don't know what that is, it's like kind of like each team creates like a roster of their best prospects, and they have a game against another team's best prospects. So we were playing our best prospects against the Mets' best prospects on the 15th, and I think we're pretty excited. I honestly think we'll win because I think the Mets have some good prospects too, but we've seen firsthand how some of our prospects have been just tearing up in spring training. And speaking of all the signings, we brought on Eddie Rosario, who was on the Braves. We brought him onto a minor league deal. And another outfielder we brought to our team. So there'll be a lot of tough decisions on who will make the cut, whether it's him, whether it's one of our younger guys like James Wood or Dylan Cruz. We'll see. So it'll be very interesting coming up toward opening day. All right, on to the Wizards, who lost the Magic and Jazz. Those games were really frustrating because they were really close in the last, and then we just lost in the last few minutes. But we did beat the Hornets, and we did hold on. Kyle Kuzma had 28. Denny had a good game. Rashawn Holmes had a good game. But even with that win, we were officially eliminated from the playoffs, which was going to happen sooner rather than later, but as expected. But at least we snapped the 16-game losing streak, and we didn't have to wait until the Pistons, we would have the Pistons coming up, so if we had lost to the Pistons, we would officially top them for the longest losing streak if we didn't win a game until then. But we won a game, we don't have to worry about that. But it will be interesting when we play the Pistons one more time coming up soon, but not this week. This week we have the Heat, the Grizzlies, and the Rockets. So see if we can get another win. I'm not totally sure, but definitely not impossible. All right, on to the Capitals, who had a lot going on. Going into last Sunday, we were playing against the Coyotes. They were rolling. It was almost like a guaranteed win, but I think that came back to bite us, and we lost to the Coyotes, who were really bad, but we lost to them, and that basically made us sellers at the trade deadline. Evgeny Kuznetsov was put on waivers, and he's eventually traded to the Hurricanes. I think we got a third rounder for that, which is good. He just hasn't been playing as much this year. I guess he's had injuries and stuff. But we really appreciate what you've done for us, Kuzi. And yeah, sad to see you go. Also, Anthony Mantha, and Joel Edmondson were dealt. And also, I forgot to add, Rasmus Sandin was, I think, extended. So now we have this week the Blackhawks, Jets, Oilers, and Kraken. I also forgot to mention the icing on the cake of this is right after the deadline, we beat the Penguins 6-0. So obviously, really awesome to beat the Penguins like that. But it's like, if only we just beat the Coyotes, we would have probably kept being on a roll. I don't think we're going for the playoffs at this point. It was probably smart because the deadline came up, and you don't want to be stuck in that middle ground of mediocrity. So yeah, they kind of had to just pull the plug. But yeah, like I was saying, the Blackhawks, Jets, Oilers, and Kraken coming up this week. Let's see if we can at least get some more wins, I guess. Yeah. On the Commanders, we signed Zach Ertz for 1 year, $5 million, which is honestly not a terrible contract. Like if it was in the prior regime, we might have signed him for like 10 or 12 million, but only 5 million. He's obviously, we saw him on the Eagles. He was one of the best tight ends, but that was like 5 or 6 years ago. So the Cardinals did pretty decent. Then he kind of had some injuries, and he didn't really play last year. He was kind of signed to the Lions for their playoff run, but I don't think he really played. So it's a solid signing already. Tight end one, I think an upgrade over Logan Thomas. But I still think we need another tight end, like you see on the question there. I think we need another tight end, whether it's getting another one. I think we can get like someone like Noah Fant. That would be really great. And then maybe even draft another tight end. We could wait a little. If we get like someone like Noah Fant, we could wait a little longer to like the 4th or 5th round for like someone like Ben Zinner or Theo Johnson or something like that. Yeah, but speaking about drafting, check out, I've made a mock draft finally on Thursday, a couple days ago. So make sure to check it out on my channel. I think it turned out pretty solid. Definitely could be better. I think that the first couple picks were definitely really, really solid. So yeah, after I want to make it before free agency, which is my next thing. Because yeah, just before we figure out some positions like that that we might need, make a draft before that, and I'll probably make a draft after that. I think one position we can look for in free agency is definitely center because it's kind of tough to have a rookie center. We don't really have a great center option. A name I've heard is Lloyd Cushenberry from the Denver Broncos because the Broncos are having some cap issues. Obviously, they got rid of Russell Wilson. That got um, so that kind of freed up a little bit, but they also have a lot of dead money from that. So that could be a good option at center. Maybe at edge, like a Danielle Hunter or Bryce Huff, because Josh Allen and Brian Burns were tagged, signed, whatever. See what else can we get in free agency? I don't know. Tight end, like I was saying. Maybe running back. Like I've heard, it seemed like there have been some rumors about DeAndre Swift. Yeah, we'll see what they do in free agency. They're definitely gonna make a few splashes, but they're not gonna go crazy spending money. So yeah, we'll see what happens in free agency. It'll be pretty exciting, and yeah, it'll make their draft plans a little more clear after free agency. And also, actually, I'm glad I mentioned this. One more thing I want to talk about is we might know what the Bears are doing because they wanted to figure out what they're doing with Justin Fields before free agency, or at least like right around this time period. So by next week, we might have some more information about that. I still think we're gonna get a QB at 2. I don't think we're getting Caleb, but we'll at least might know in the next week or two. So that'll be interesting. And stay tuned for next week. And that's all the news I have. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.